I'm Scott Reed here with Martin Wallace of Tree Frog Games, and we're here at Essen 2012 having a look at Martin's new game, PI, from Tree Frog. So tell us about this game, Martin. I read over the rules and saw that it's a deduction game, but tell us more about it.
Okay, well, thanks for inviting me over here, Scott. Hello to all you viewers out there. Yeah, this is just been released at the show. It's PI. It is a simple deduction game for 2 to 5 players. And the best way of describing it is as a mix between Cluedo and Mastermind, or Clue
right.
for you
Sure.
American viewers. Okay, the storyline behind it is that you're an American detective. The blonde walks into the office. She tells you she's got a missing cat. You know that's a lie, that there's
right.
something else going on there. So what you're trying to do in the game is find out what the actual crime that has been committed is, who's committed it, and where they're hiding. So as includes, like, finding the murderer, the weapon, and the location.
Sure.
So, at the beginning of the game, each player gets 1 crime card, 1 location card, and 1 suspect card. So, if I was playing, I would also take 1 of each. Now, in Clue, everybody's trying to solve the same case. Here, you're not. Everybody's got their own case that they're trying to solve. So, me as a player, I'm trying to figure out what those 3 cards are. You as a player will be trying to figure out the cards the player held by your right, and so on, and they'll be trying to figure out these. So I can look at these cards, so I know for a fact that my case does not involve any of these cards, because those are the cards I'm looking for.
Right.
So, when it's your turn, you can do 1 of 3 things. You can either place an investigator piece on the board, or you can select an evidence card, or you can make an accusation and say, okay, I think it was Earl hiding in Ocean Drive and he did a mob killing. But you're only going to do that later on in the game. So effectively, during the game, you're either placing an investigator or selecting an evidence card. Now, say I place an investigator here, what happens is you will look at your cards and you will tell me how successful my investigation has been. And because it's an investigator, we're looking at all 3 elements in this area.
Right.
So you're going to look, well, let's see. We've got Frenchy in here, but actually I'm looking for Dutch, and Dutch is... where is Dutch? He's over here.
Right.
So
that's Dutch isn't even close.
I'm looking for Waterfront. That's down here, but this is Rick's Cafe, so that's nothing.
Right.
Then we're also looking for smuggling, which is here, so that's nothing. So in that case, you say you get nothing. So I know that it's not any of those, nor is it anything adjacent. However, say I'd placed it, let's see, where would be a good place to place that? So we've got smuggling.
Smuggling, if you put it here, you'd get 1 of each.
Right, so there. Say I'd placed it there instead.
Right.
Again, you'd look at that and say, well, for Dutch, you're going to get a cube, and then for smuggling, you say a disc, and then for Waterfront, nothing. So you would say to me, you get a disc and you get a cube.
Right.
I place them on the investigator. That tells me that one of those 3 things in there is spot on, and that one of those 3 things is in an adjacent area, and one of those things is much further away. But I don't know which they apply to.
Right.
Alternatively, say I had taken, say I'd taken an evidence card. Now, an evidence card means I'm going to look at that specifically. So say I'd taken this evidence card. So I say, right, I'm taking Union Square. So you're just looking specifically at that one element of the case. So in that case, you say to me, well, you get a cube. So I get a cube because actually I'm looking for Waterfront.
Right.
So you say you get a cube, and I place it on Union Square. So that tells me, okay, it's not Union Square, but
it's a location that's adjacent.
One of these adjacent locations. So this is more general information. This is more specific.
Right.
So,
and if you had chosen, if Waterfront had been over here and you'd chosen it, I would put the disc on waterfront, correct?
Then you would say disc, and I know...
And you know definitively it is waterfront.
It is waterfront, no questions asked.
Right.
So by a combination of taking evidence cards and placing investigators, you can narrow down the possibilities until you get to the point you go, aha, I know who's done it. And that's it.
Right.
The player who goes out first scores 7 points, the player goes out next will then go up 5 points, unless you solve your crime in the same number of turns, in which case you score the same number of points. If we were playing a 4-player game and 3 players have solved their crime and the 4th player hasn't and they've taken more turns, they get nothing and you just stop the game there.
Sure.
But because the game is fairly quick moving, you're meant to play 3 games one after the other, and then it's whoever's got the highest total wins the game.
Okay.
It also means you have to be careful about using your investigator pieces, because these are one use only throughout all 3 games.
Okay.
So you start with 5, so you've got 5 to last you through three mini
rounds.
cases.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
And that's it, really.
And then, but also if you make a guess and it's incorrect, you get this whole track
lose
down
points.
here as well. Right.
Yeah, you'll have a marker on here, and you'll lose penalty points. It's also the case that if you give false information, because you can always tell if somebody's lied.
Right.
Because if, say, you know, at the end of the game you reveal those cards, and I might look at those, say, hold on a moment, when I did that, you should have given me a cube, then I get maximum points and you get 0.
Right.
Because that's the only thing that is going to mess you up is if somebody gives incorrect information.
Sure.
But if they do that,
because you can't deduce if you don't have the full facts to work with.
Yeah. So what from people I play tested it with, I mean, the comment that we've got repeated is, hey, this is actually a game I could play with my family, because there's very few rules and it's all about problem solving. So if you know, and some people love it. You can just study the board and think, right, okay, which card do I go for?
Oh, hold on a second.
Sorry?
Go ahead.
So yeah, the comment we've had from a lot of playtesters is, yeah, this is something we can play with the family.
Right.
Because it's relatively easy. You're not being horrible to anybody. It's just about trying to work out the best move to reduce as many possibilities as possible, to narrow, so you can focus, you know, work out who's done it.
Excellent.
There we
go.
That's the game.
All right. Did you want to mention the Kickstarter? Or?
Yes. Before I go, as some of you may know, Tree Frogs is going to be launching a Kickstarter campaign for Moongar Invaders. The promo video is all ready, so we're at the point of pressing the button to launch the campaign. So hopefully, it'll take a few days, I think, for Kickstarter to look at it and okay it. So hopefully that will be up and running sometime next week.
Okay.
But as I say, there's a video explaining well, there's going to be 2 games in the one box. Hopefully there'll be a video explaining all that. So yeah, watch out for the Kickstarter campaign.
Wonderful. Well, thank you very much, Martin.
Okay, thank
Pleasure.
you. Thank you for your time.